Have you ever been told that growing older means letting go of intimacy, that after a certain age, it's just not part of life anymore? Maybe it was a well-meaning friend, a passing comment at a family gathering, or even a voice in your own head whispering that it's time to close that chapter. Society often paints aging as a slow fade, less passion, less fire, less you. But what if I told you that science begs to differ? What if holding on to intimacy, even in the quiet privacy of your own space, could be the key to not just surviving your later years, but thriving through them? As we journey through life, we start to notice the little warnings: a heart that skips, a memory that falters, knees that groan under the weight of time. We guard against these with doctor visits, pills, and promises to walk more. But what about the parts of us we don't parade in public? The natural rhythms we're born with, the ones that hum beneath the surface? Ignoring them doesn't just dim a spark, it can hasten aging, weaken your frame, and invite illnesses you never saw coming. Self-pleasure in your golden years isn't a whispered secret or a guilty escape. It's a lifeline, a quiet rebellion against decline, a gift you give yourself when the world forgets to. Today, we're going to unfold 6 profound, science-backed reasons to keep intimacy alive as you age, whether with a partner or simply with yourself. These aren't just fleeting perks, they're pillars for a stronger body, a brighter mind, and a spirit that refuses to dim. Stay with me to the end, because you'll uncover how this one humble habit could weave more strength into your days, more clarity into your thoughts, and maybe even a few extra seasons into your story. Let's step into this together. Number 1. Shielding your prostate with care. Let's begin with something every man carries close: the prostate. It's a small, unsung hero, tucked away, doing its work without fanfare. But as the years stack up, it can turn from ally to adversary if you let it sit idle. Research drops a quiet bombshell. Men who stay intimate, even on their own, cut their risk of prostate cancer. How does it work? Each release sweeps away toxins, old fluids, and lurking threats that can fester into inflammation. It's like tending a garden: clear the weeds, and the roots grow deep. Picture Michael, a 79-year-old retired mechanic from Boise, Idaho. He'd spent decades fixing engines, but his own body started stalling, nights fractured by endless bathroom trips, a dull ache he couldn't shake. He'd grumble to his wife over coffee, "Guess this is just what old feels like." Then his doctor tossed him a curveball: regular self-pleasure could help. Michael chuckled, picturing his younger self, but he tried it. Months later, the fog lifted. Fewer midnight shuffles, less pressure, a lightness he thought he'd lost. He'd sit on his porch, watching the sunset, feeling not just relief but pride. Science nods along. This habit reduces swelling, fends off benign prostatic hyperplasia, and keeps the system humming. It's not just about dodging discomfort, it's about honoring the body that's carried you this far, about saying, "I'm still here." In a world where prostate woes shadow so many, this is your quiet shield. Number 2. A stronger heart, a fuller life. Your heart, it's more than a muscle. It's the drumbeat of your mornings, the pulse behind every hug, every climb up the hill. We chase its health with kale and treadmills, but there's a gentler path we rarely name. Intimacy, even solo, is a love letter to your heart. Each moment quickens your breath, sends blood dancing through your veins, and stretches your vessels wide, like a walk through the park, but cozier. Studies whisper a promise. Men who keep this rhythm going see lower blood pressure, smoother circulation, and a shield against heart attacks and strokes. Meet Clara, a 76-year-old widow from Savannah, Georgia. After her husband passed, the world grew heavy, her hands chilled, her energy drained, her days blurred into gray. She'd sit by her window, watching the oak sway, feeling her spark flicker. Her doctor saw the signs: circulation slowing, a heart at risk, but instead of pills, he offered a softer cure: intimacy as medicine. Clara blushed, then pondered. She started small, and soon, warmth crept back into her fingertips, her steps grew surer, and her laughter returned. She'd bake peach cobbler for her grandkids, feeling her heart not just beat but sing. This isn't a quick thrill, it's a lifeline, keeping arteries clear, oxygen flowing, your vitality alive. When the world feels cold, this is your hearth. Isn't that a legacy worth nurturing? Number 3. Mastering your body's rhythm. Past 60, the body can feel like a stranger. Nights interrupted by urgent dashes, days shadowed by hesitation. Bladder control slips, prostate grumbles, and you wonder if this is the price of time. But here's a tender truth: regular release can steady that tide. It strengthens the pelvic floor, those hidden muscles that cradle your core, turning chaos into calm. It's a workout you didn't know you needed, woven into something natural. Take Tom, a 72-year-old former truck driver from Flagstaff, Arizona. He'd logged miles across deserts, but lately, his nights were a different road, up 5 times, bleary and beaten, cursing the dark. "This is it," he'd mutter, resigned. His urologist disagreed. Intimacy could shift the gears. Tom shrugged, then leaned in. Weeks later, the trips dwindled, his flow steadied, and he'd wake with a grin instead of a groan. Science backs him up. Ejaculation flushes bacteria, boosts blood to the pelvis, and cuts infection risks. Beyond mechanics, it's dignity restored, a quiet victory over shame. Tom would sit on his porch, sipping coffee, feeling not just relief but ownership. This is your body, still answering your call. Why not listen? Number 4. Lifting the shadows from your mind. Aging is a tapestry, threads of wisdom, joy, and scars. But sometimes, the shadows grow long. Loneliness seeps in, stress tightens its grip, and the mirror reflects a stranger's eyes. What if intimacy could be your lantern? Each moment floods your brain with endorphins, oxytocin, dopamine, a chorus of light against the dark. It's not just a release, it's a balm, easing tension, painting joy where gray once reigned. Consider Ellen, a 74-year-old librarian from Portland, Oregon. Retirement stripped her routines, leaving her adrift, nights stretched endless, her thoughts a heavy fog. She'd shelved books for decades, but couldn't shelve her sadness. A therapist offered a lifeline, self-pleasure as solace. Ellen paused. Me? No. But one rainy evening, she tried. The weight softened, sleep wrapped her gently, and she'd wake to brew tea with a smile. Studies echo her shift. Cortisol drops, serotonin rises, emotions steady. It's more than chemistry, it's a whisper to your soul, you're still vibrant, still deserving. Ellen would walk her garden, feeling the earth and herself anew. In a world that can dim your light, this is your spark, gentle, private, yours. Number 5. A shield against prostate shadows. Prostate cancer haunts the horizon for so many men, a specter in hushed tones. But here's a flicker of hope. Regular intimacy might lower that shadow by a third. The prostate thrives on motion. Stagnation breeds inflammation, a quiet threat. Each release is a cleanse, a renewal, keeping the engine purring. James, a 70-year-old farmer from Kansas City, Missouri, felt that threat close. Discomfort crept in, nights restless, days uneasy. He'd rise at dawn, feeding cattle, but his body lagged. His doctor laid it bare. This habit could guard him. James nodded, trusting the soil and the science. Months later, the pressure eased, his stride returned, and he'd stand in his fields, feeling not just relief but strength. Research agrees, regularity cuts risk, flushes toxins, steadies the system. It's not just dodging fear, it's planting peace, harvesting years. James would watch the sunset, knowing he'd chosen life. This is your power, simple, steady, profound. Number 6. The gift of restful nights. Sleep can become a ghost as we age, slipping through fingers, leaving you weary in its wake. Nights stretch with restless thoughts, mornings dawn with heavy eyes. But intimacy holds a secret key. That post-climax hush? It's oxytocin and prolactin weaving a cocoon of calm, lowering stress, inviting dreams. It's your body's lullaby, sung without words. David, a 77-year-old carpenter from Asheville, North Carolina, knew that ache. Insomnia shadowed his years. Teas, dark curtains, nothing tamed the midnight churn. He'd carve wood by day, but nights carved him. A friend nudged him, intimacy might soothe. David smirked, then softened. He tried, and soon, nights grew gentle, sleep deep, mornings crisp. He'd wake to birdsong, tools in hand, feeling whole. Science chimes in, it steadies your clock, eases tension, renews you. Beyond rest, it's a bridge to peace, a reclaiming of quiet joy. David would sit by his fire, knowing rest was his again. Why let sleep slip when this waits? Let's pause here, together. Your body doesn't clock out because the calendar turns. Too many turn from intimacy, bound by old tales, shy glances, or a world that says, not anymore. But you've heard the song now. It fortifies your heart, guards your core, lifts your spirit, cradles your rest. Imagine mornings with less fog, days with more fire, a you that meets the mirror with a nod. Think of Sarah, an 80-year-old artist from Santa Fe, New Mexico. She'd painted deserts for decades, but age dulled her brush, until she rediscovered this spark. "I thought I'd faded," she said, "but it woke me." She'd mix colors with vigor, her hands steady, her heart full. This isn't about rules or eyes. It's about you, your rhythm, your right to feel alive. Aging isn't a curtain falling, it's a stage for courage, for choices like this. So, where do you go from here? Maybe it's a quiet night to begin, a moment to say, "I'm worth this." Tell me below, what stirred you today? What will you carry forward? Your words light our path to keep sharing. If this moved you, like, subscribe, pass it on. Let's rewrite aging, not as loss, but as a bold, beautiful dance. Thank you for walking this with me. I'll see you soon.